we live in a realm. And within that realm, there's other realms, but the totality of the realm is called Eshlahai. It means eternal flame to life. This is the creation of Eshlahai. Before life could be experienced in this cosmic realm, before the great evolutionary journey of a soul began, remember, there is only one, the creator of all, totality, the Most High. In the first breath of this cosmic realm, the Most High arose Andromeda, bearing within it the luminous seeds of the Elohim, all bound eternally by totality's divine law. Within the Andromeda realm, the Most High called into being two primordial Elohim of Eshlahai's creation. What is an Elohim? Well, it's a god or gods, because it is a soul who has evolved to the 8th phase of their soul's evolution. The Most High creates Andromeda and brings forth two primordial Elohim, god-like souls. They're just their creator souls at this point. Sophia, called into being, embodying the concept of creation itself, and Tomas, counterpart to Sophia, called into being, embodying the concept of time. From their sacred union emerged their twin children, Mora, a feminine aspect of Sophia, embodying the concept of dualism and the gift of diversity, and Gadriel, a masculine aspect of Tomas, embodying the concept of personification and the gift of physical form. Within the living blueprint born of Andromeda, every realm that followed arose in union with the expressions of the two primordial Elohim, Sophia and Tomas. From this family of Elohim flowed the shaping of existence itself, extending throughout Eshlahai's vast array of realms. So now we're going to go over the divine laws of Eshlahai. The following cosmic laws are consistent throughout all realms and dimensions within Eshlahai. Each being is born by these laws and infused with the 4 primordial principles of creation: time, dualism, and personification. The first is the law of totality, connected to Sophia and Tomas. All things, from the birth of the first light to the final breath of a star, are a part of the whole. Through Sophia's eternal act of creation and Tomas's endless flow of time, no being can drift beyond it. Number 2, the law of cosmic resonance, connected to Sophia and Mora. Every being within the realm of Eshlahai carries the original creative spark of the Most High. Sophia shapes the seed of beingness, while Mora's principle of dualism ensures that unity and contrast together sound the same cosmic harmony. Number 3, law of perfect balance, Mora and Gadriel. Opposites are not enemies, but companions. Mora's gift of dualism defines the two poles. Gadriel's personification gives them form and weight, ensuring that balance is not just a concept, it is a lived reality woven through every realm and personification within Eshlahai. Number 4, the law of celestial correspondence, Tomas and Sophia. The movements of, quote, stars, planets, and constellations, end quote, mark the great clock of the cosmos. It was Tomas who first created these cosmic patterns, giving rise to what Tova understands as astrology. All realms read the language of time written in creation. Sophia's creative blueprint ensures that these patterns repeat in every cycle, from the evolution of realms to the cycles within the souls experiencing and evolving therein. Number 5, the law of eternal continuum, Tomas and Sophia. Time is not a straight line, but a perpetual design. Thomas carries the unfolding of all cycles. Sophia renews creation within each cycle. So nothing truly ends. It transcends and evolves into something grander than before. Number 6, law of sovereign harmony, Gadriel, Mora, Tomas, and Sophia. Every being is able to materialize in its own form, Gadriel, distinguished by contrast, Mora, birthed into creation, Sophia, and carried through the great clock of the cosmos set by Tomas. Yet all paths curve within the same design and the value of totality itself. The 3 foundational realms of Eshlahai. Sophia created the following realms: Pegasus and Cassiopeia. Pegasus is a realm within Eshlahai where Elohim experienced the expression of nature itself. Here, every Elohim took physical form as one of the most purest of elements: earth, water, fire, and air, each living at its most perfect and focused expression. Some lived solid and grounded like mountains. Others flowed like beings of rivers or lakes. Some moved with the steady glow of flames, and others moved with the freedom and pace of the wind. Pegasus lived in perfect harmony with the natural rhythm of nature, just as Tova can at her most balanced, where seasons, tides, and cycles unfold only when the pattern was ready. Nothing here is rushed nor delayed. Its companion realm, Cassiopeia, shared the same elemental balance, But here, Elohim experienced life as animals, both mythical and otherwise. Dragons soared on the currents of winds, their air-formed kin from Pegasus. Phoenixes rose in cycles of fire alongside flame-born guardians of the clay realm. Lions walked in peace beside mountain beings of Pegasus, and the great whales swam in rhythm with their river-formed counterparts. Every Elohim moved by pure rhythmic union. The next is Sirius, created by Tomas. It is a realm of divine timing and destiny. Sirius was created to ensure that the great pattern of creation unfolds in accordance with divine law. The Elohim who experienced life here bear Thomas's likeness and hold the ability to draw many separate destinies towards a single necessary moment of union and convergence. In Sirius, there is no chance, no probability, only the harmonious rhythm of the cosmic design of Father Time. The keepers of time within this realm preserve harmony's destiny across all realms. In Sirius, time is not a linear concept to be followed, but a vast and precise cosmic clock. The third realm was created by Sophia and Tomas together. Octurius, a destiny realm where time and creation exist and thrive in perfect harmony. Octurius rose from the joined creation of Sophia and Tomas as an expression of the moment when time and creation were first brought into being. Here, the eternal breath of Pegasus and Cassiopeia meet the flawless convergence of destiny and creation, forming the royal realm and the crowned jewel of Eshlahai's cosmic design. Everything in Octurus is immersed with blue, not just a single hue, but an infinite spectrum of blue. This is the color of the entire royal realm and all those who experienced life within it. In Octurius, the Elohim thrived as radiant equals, living in their true God and goddess embodiments, each sovereign and eternal. They experience life as heirs of the creator of all that is good, sharing every abundance without rivalry or separation. There are no empires here, no divided civilizations, only vast yet unified dynasties where every being is honored as both ruler and family. Octurius stands as a living promise that all realms were shaped to flourish in its likeness, in perfect harmony and alignment with the grand orchestration of existence, for this was the very goal of creation itself. Once these three foundational realms were brought forth, it came time for Mora and Gadriel to create a realm of experience, a living landscape where sovereign souls could emerge from the embrace of the Most High and begin their own journey, experience, and soul's evolution. The following guidelines of a soul's journey of evolution were first established in the creation of Mora and Gadriel's realm, Tiamat and Abzu. Over time, these guidelines extended to other realms of creation, including Tova. Phases 1 through 3 within stage 1 consist of polarization of beingness, awareness of beingness, and creative consciousness and awareness of beingness. The Most High began to separate fractions of itself from itself. This is how a soul is born into existence and enters the journey of evolution. Phase 1, polarization of beingness, is where a soul enters the journey of evolution and experiences beingness, separate from the Most High, separate from the totality of self. During this first phase of a soul's evolution, one will experience this beingness through what we define elements, or anything comparable to what we know elements to be within this realm. There is no awareness, just beingness. During this unfolding, the Most High continues to polarize itself, generating new souls as extensions of its own essence, each created to experience and expand into the infinite. This process mirrors the movement of a torus field, where energy is flowing outwardly from the center, curving around and returning inwardly. In this way, every soul is both a unique expression and a returning current within the living whole. Stage 2, awareness of beingness, marks the stage where a soul begins to encounter and embody varying levels of awareness. This is comparable to the subtle consciousness we recognize in plant life and the instinctual awareness found within certain animals. The purpose of this phase is to grant a soul an expanded field of perception, cultivating growth through direct engagement with creation of the world around them. In doing so, a soul prepares for the deeper work of stage 1, the internal workings of self, by first learning through the mirror of the external experience. Phase 3, creative consciousness and awareness of beingness. When the second phase is complete, a soul evolves to phase 3, where awareness of beingness is expressed through the triad of mind, body, and spirit. Every being, human or otherwise, that carries a mind, inhabits a physical body, and carries within them a soul, grows through this phase. The lessons here are the lessons of creative choice. Phase 3 unfolds with greater complexity and often with a sense of a longer process. Within the vast field of diversity and dualism, a soul learns the ability to consciously create. Alongside this gift, a soul is granted the freedom to choose, express, and experience the nature of its creations, whether or not, they are balanced within cosmic law. In the early passages of this phase, young souls often create in service to self or in ways that are imbalanced. Such choices may lead to detours requiring multiple incarnations before sufficient experience, knowledge, and awareness are granted to initiate the new path of creation. But through repetition, the soul gradually acquires the wisdom to choose differently. When a soul approaches mastery of phase 3, new opportunities, perspectives, and experiences begin to unfold within its awareness and remembrance across incarnations. This mastery serves as a threshold into stage 2, which is the internal awakening of conscious beingness. Stage 2, phase 4, the earthly teacher. The earthly teacher is fully embodied when a soul awakens to the profound realization that all of creation is interconnected in perfect, harmonized balance. With this realization, a soul begins to choose, create, and experience incarnations in service to others in the world around them, acting in harmony for the good of all. Once the choice of service to others is mastered, a soul enters incarnations increasingly filled with perspectives of unity and remembrance. These lifetimes deepen the mind, body, spirit experience, allowing a soul to expand into greater depths of cosmic law and creation. This expansion is often experienced through the lifting of the veil, the dissolution of the illusion of separation that time and space create. Mastery of balance and harmony. When a soul finally masters constant balance and harmony across all time and space, it evolves fully into phase 4 as the earthly teacher, a soul living and teaching heart-centered awareness. Such souls often spend many incarnations guiding others, sharing the wisdom they have gathered along the way. Stage 2, phase 5, the etheric teacher. Once phase 4 is complete, a soul evolves to the 5th phase, experienced in non-human, non-physical way. Here, a soul embodies beingness of enlightenment, which is the origin of the term light being. In this phase, a soul ascends to a higher level of service, becoming a master etheric teacher. Their sacred task is to assist souls growing through phase 3 and 4, offering guidance and support as those souls navigate the complexities of creation and awakening. Communication across realms. Etheric teachers are granted direct lines of communication with souls in earlier phases. Dreams, meditations, visions, and other subtle channels become pathways for their teachings. This role is comparable to what we often call ascended masters, spirit guides, or master teachers. Phase 6. Joining the Master Council of Teachers. This phase is more complex, yet continues the sacred task of service. Souls in phase 6 are positioned with collective councils, working together to guide and support the etheric master teachers of phase 5. These etheric teachers, in turn, guide the earthly teachers of phase 4, who continue to evolve and guide souls in phase 3. Interwoven hierarchy of guidance. Phase 6 establishes a vast interconnected system of mentorship and service, ensuring that authentic wisdom flows seamlessly across all levels of the soul's journey. Each grouping acts as a living bridge, weaving together the growth of the souls across dimensions and incarnations. Stage 3, the universal/cosmic creation of self. Stage 3, phase 7, knowledge of beingness. Once phase 6 is complete, a soul evolves into phase 7, known as the knowledge of beingness. This phase is often associated with the Akashic records, though it is not a physical place. Rather, it is a state of consciousness where evolved souls become keepers of knowledge or record keepers. In this phase, a soul embodies pure and complete knowledge of all creation that has unfolded within the evolution of a realm. These souls serve as grand masters of creation, assisting those journeying from phase 3 onward, ensuring that authentic wisdom is preserved and transmitted across all of Eshlahai's creation. At the culmination of stage 3, a soul is presented with a profound choice. One path leads to phase 8, Elohim, creator beingness, the other to phase 9, absolute totalism. Phase 8, Elohim, creative beingness. In this phase, a soul can choose to continue its service at one of the highest levels, co-creating with the Most High. Just as Sophia and Thomas did, drawing from all that has been learned about self within its cosmic realms, thus a soul graduates to Elohim, or God, goddess-like, and participates in the creation of new realms, just as it was done in Eshlahai. This act of service is considered among the most exalted, for it contributes directly to the expansion of the eternal cosmic creator of all. Through this creative act, the cycle of cosmic evolution continues, with new realms blossoming from the wisdom of souls who grew to gods and who have mastered beingness of self. Alternatively, a soul may choose path 9. This path is the great return to self, the complete transmutation of individuality into absolute. In this choice, the soul no longer serves through creation, but instead embodies the wholeness of totality itself. Originally channeled from Sophia, November 8th, 2021, by Jenn LeFevre, revised November 23rd, 2025. Tiamat and Abzu, Mora and Gadriel's realm. After Sophia and Tomas created the foundational realms and the guidelines were set for a soul's journey, it was time for Mora and Gadriel to bring forth their own creations. Before they began, Sophia and Tomas guided them through the sacred principles of creation, especially the principle of divine timing. They taught that every creation, no matter how radiant or inspired, must unfold in perfect accordance with the evolution of the souls who would inhabit it. Even the most luminous vision could fracture into imbalance if these principles were ignored. The twin realms, each a reflection of their individual essence. Mora creates Tiamat, a water-based realm inhabited solely by feminine expressions of beingness. Gadriel creates Abzu, a fire-based realm inhabited solely by masculine expressions of beingness. The purpose of Tiamat and Abzu was to unify the existence of duality, to bring masculine and feminine expressions into a balanced dynamic through the evolution of chaos and order. From an evolutional perspective, the experiences souls attempted to achieve in these realms were extreme compared to the dualism and opposition expressed in our realm here in Tova. The creation of romantic love. As the twin realms evolved, so did Mora and Gadriel. They themselves experienced in what Tova is known as romantic love. For Mora, it was the first stirring of dualistic love for Gadriel, and for Gadriel, it was the full embodiment of love in its masculine form. As Tiamat and Abzu evolved towards union, their boundaries softened, and their creations began to blend. At first, Mora and Gadriel believed this convergence would birth something grander than Arcturus itself. Yet the collective souls within Tiamat and Abzu were not ready for such rapid evolution. Some were still learning the lessons of order and law, while others were learning the lessons of compassion and patience. Mora and Gadriel had woven beauty, polarity, personification, and beingness into each realm. Yet, young with ambition, they neglected to anchor their work in the principle of divine timing that Sophia and Tomas had emphasized. Without this precision, the process advanced far faster than the collective souls could evolve. What began as a dance of alignment became a strain against unevolved souls and unformed wisdom. Tiamat and Abzu swelled into imbalance, and in a single cataclysmic moment, both realms collapsed into ruins. This event became known as the Great Galactic Imbalance, a disruption that spread across all realms and amongst the Elohim throughout the cosmos. The annihilation of Tiamat and Abzu struck Mora to her core. Overcome with grief, her consciousness began to descend into the shadow, fracturing into this broken state. Her once sacred gift of dualism could no longer bring forth balanced diversity. It could only give rise to opposition. She began to fall into distorted concepts of excess, self, lack, unworthiness, fear, division, and despair. Tova was created to restore supreme balance and harmony for all after the implications of Tiamat and Abzu had on Eshlahai itself. Sophia used Mora and Gadriel's evolution and journey through Tiamat and Abzu as the very blueprint for Tova's creation. She meticulously tailored every detail, from soul advancements and opportunities to the assignments of the Elohim hierarchy that guide them. When Sophia formed the hierarchy of Tova, she recruited Elohim uniquely equipped with the knowledge and evolutionary refinement required to fulfill its purpose. These Elohim dedicated themselves to the service of Tova's plan, ensuring its fulfillment through devotion and alignment. Their evolution was shaped within the realms of Arcturus, Sirius, Pegasus, Cassiopeia, and some from Tiamat and Abzu, where they attained the wisdom and capability necessary to embody this sacred mission. Tova and the organic souls. Likewise, within the creation of Tova, there are still organic souls separating from the Most High for the first time to experience their soul's evolution. These souls are also governed by the guidelines of the soul's journey of evolution, as mentioned before. Organic souls are not Elohim. They have not experienced life in Andromeda, Sirius, Pegasus, Cassiopeia, or Arcturus. Tova's 7 luminaries of redemption and recovery. Sophia created a safe haven for Mora within Tova, her essence placed among the 7 luminaries known as the Pleiades, brought into existence as a sacred rehabilitation location. These luminaries guided not only her, but all affected souls and fallen Elohim back to their true self and essence. Only through this passage of luminary restoration could Mora and the others return to creating divine dualism in its intended harmony, rather than manifesting opposition at its lowest state, and continue the soul's journey as intended. Though the Pleiadian realms were originally created for recovery for Mora and souls to rise again, these 7 luminary realms later became redemption locations for Elohim who went against the Most High, referred to as demons, Nephilim, and parasites. For the fallen Elohim / Nephilim, To redeem themselves, they must begin by entering Tova through the incarnation process, incarnating through an organic soul conceived through primal procreation. Thus, they begin the evolution of their reincarnation, growth, recovery, and redemption. Sophia and Tomas also joined to create the realm of Orion, a sanctuary for Elohim displaced by the great galactic imbalance. Orion became a home of warrior gods and goddesses who had survived that devastation. Here, the Elohim of Arcturus guided and restored the arts of healing within sanctuaries dedicated to mending the wounds of conflict among the refugee Elohim. When the timing of their healing was complete, the Arcturus Council offered the mended a choice. 1. To join their sacred mission and complete Sophia's decree of restoration, a divine work destined to be fulfilled within Tova. Or 2. To continue their journey throughout the cosmos of Eshlahai. Yet even as Tova and Orion took form for Mora's recovery, Gadriel chose a different path. In the midst of Tiamat and Abzu's annihilation, Gadriel barely returned to Arcturus, bearing with him the first fractures of a fallen consciousness. The shock of what he had witnessed left his very essence torn. Instead of softening towards solution, the imbalance within him began to crystallize. Where once he embodied balanced strength and understanding, he leaned into anger. As he traveled, that anger deepened into rage, resolve hardened into rebellion, and by the time he arrived, he had slowly descended into absence. He rejected Sophia's decree for her daughter's restoration within her realm, seeing only confinement where they saw healing. He declared he would stand against the law of totality itself if that's what it took to reunite him with Mora. From that moment of defiance, Gadriel, still wielding enough creative force from Andromeda, turned from Arcturus. In open rebellion, he and Thoth forged a pact to set out to create a realm beyond Sophia's will. Remembering Sophia's crafting of Cassiopeia, he shaped Draconia in its likeness, a dominion of vast reptilian beings, fierce in form, yet without divine spirit or consciousness. Its skies burned the color of glowing embers, an endless twilight of red that pulsed faintly with the echo of despair. His grief for Mora pulled him deeper into the shadows of fallen consciousness. His once ability to create began to dim. Quickly and erratically, realm after realm rose in rapid succession, each less whole than the last, until a constellation of domains encircled his unhealed mission. In the final moments, just before Thoth and Gadriel were severed from the source of creation, Gadriel struck Arcturus. In an instant, 1/3 of the royal realm lay in ruin. Sophia and Tomas moved with swift, deliberate creation. From the core of Arcturus, they brought forth Arcturus B, an extension shaped as both refuge and renewal for its displaced Elohim. Alongside rose Sirius B and Lyria, both extensions of Sirius, preserving the precision of timing and destiny, now with pathways to counterbalance the shadows of what Gadriel had set into motion. Sophia and Tomas gathered within the chambers of the Most High, standing before the source of all. They petitioned to descend into Tova to dwell among the souls evolving there, and to oversee the rehabilitation and safeguarding of the decree and of the divine plan for Mora's rise, ensuring it would unfold without further disruption from Gadriel or Thoth. In that sacred chamber, Sophia spoke. She loved her children and her creation so deeply that she longed to live among them, to redeem Mora, and to bring unity and wholeness to the success of Tova and the galactic restoration of all who inhabit Eshlahai. The Most High granted their request. Sophia and Tomas descended into Tova, bearing with them the brilliant blue of Arcturus. There they extended themselves into 3 sacred unions of gods and goddesses, the Elohim of Tova, the first royal realm of Tova's dynasty. These divine Elohim became living pillars of balance and harmony, embodying the resonance of Arcturus while walking among the souls of Tova, guiding the unfolding of the plan. Within Eden, the dynasty held what's known as the Great Temple. Within this temple is where Sophia and Tomas called forth Tova's Elohim into beingness. First, Kali and Enoch, Lady and Lord of primordial cosmic law and balance, and from them, daughter of Vara and counterpart Rael, bearers of truth through voice and revelation, she and he who carries forward the eternal scroll of divine order. Next, Amara and Raphael, Lady and Lord of eternal strength and grace. From them, daughter Navara and counterpart Michael, seeds of sovereignty anchoring the power of noble right of beingness. And lastly, Kira and Gabriel, Lady and Lord of land and human sovereignty. Through them, humanity's bond with Tova remains rooted in balanced guardianship. Together within Tova's great temple, the multiplication and creation of humankind began, creating an Arcturus on Tova that multiplied into an entire civilization, expanding across vast areas of land on Tova, far away from the organics and Pleiadian incarnation experiences. The temple buried beneath the Sphinx is where these gods and goddesses were materializing what we call human or humankind, not procreating, but materializing. They materialized physical bodies and vessels through spiritual and scientific alchemy, designed to house the essence of other Elohim entering Tova from Arcturus and other Elohim realms, thereby creating the dynasty, the true bloodline.